Your bladder might be stealing your best sleep without you even knowing it. Night after night, it can quietly cut into the deepest stage your brain needs to recover. Today, we'll uncover why this happens and how to take back the rest your body craves. Have you ever woken up feeling strangely tired, even after what should have been a full night's sleep? You look at the clock and think, I slept for 7 or 8 hours, so why do I still feel drained? Most people shrug it off, blaming stress, aging, or a busy lifestyle. But there's a silent culprit that disrupts millions of people's rest each night, and it's not as obvious as you might think: your bladder. This small organ is often ignored until it calls for attention. But the truth is, it can quietly pull you out of the deepest stages of rest without you even realizing it. And it's not just about waking up and walking to the bathroom. Even subtle signals from your bladder can nudge your brain to shift out of REM sleep, the stage where your mind restores itself, organizes memories, balances mood, and even supports your immune system. You may never become fully awake during these interruptions, yet they can leave you feeling as if you never truly rested at all. In the United States, certain habits make this problem even more common. Take the average American's daily caffeine intake: coffee in the morning, a soda with lunch, maybe an iced tea in the afternoon. Caffeine isn't just a stimulant, it's also a diuretic, meaning it encourages the body to produce more urine. Combine that with high-sodium meals, think burgers, fries, and processed snacks, and you've got a recipe for increased bladder activity long after you've gone to bed. But here's where it gets more intriguing. The timing of your hydration can be just as important as what you drink. A tall glass of water before bed might seem harmless, even healthy, but that extra liquid can fill your bladder during your deepest sleep cycles. The bladder sends gentle signals to your brain, and even if those signals don't wake you up completely, they still disrupt the flow of your REM sleep, forcing your body to work harder to re-enter it. Over weeks and months, these small interruptions add up. Fragmented REM sleep has been linked to problems with concentration, reduced mental clarity, mood swings, and a weakened immune response. It's like your phone battery showing 100% in the morning, but draining in just a few hours. You're starting your day already depleted. And it doesn't have to be that way. Simple, natural changes to your habits can help you protect your REM sleep and give your body the chance to repair and recharge the way it's meant to. In fact, I'm going to share a technique that not only supports bladder health, but also helps your brain stay in those deep, restorative stages for longer. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, and it's something most people have never even considered. But before we get there, you need to understand the full scope of how this hidden sleep disruption works, because fixing only part of the problem won't deliver the full benefits you're looking for. And if you ignore this next piece of information, not only will your results be limited, but you could also be unknowingly creating conditions that make your sleep quality worse over time. And that's something we absolutely want to avoid. Once you realize how even subtle bladder signals can cut into your deepest sleep stages, it becomes clear that the problem is bigger than just a midnight trip to the bathroom. Your body's sleep cycles are delicate, especially the REM phase, where your brain does its most critical work, storing memories, regulating hormones, and processing emotions. Every time that cycle is interrupted, even for a few seconds, your brain has to restart the process, and it doesn't always get back to where it left off. In everyday life, the signs are easy to overlook. You might feel groggy in the morning, crave more sugar or caffeine to get through the day, or find your patience wearing thin over small frustrations. These aren't just signs of being busy or getting older. They can be the result of your brain missing out on the full benefits of REM sleep night after night. Certain daily habits make this cycle of disruption worse. Think about the American tradition of late-night snacks: pizza after a sports game, popcorn during a movie, or a glass of wine to wind down before bed. These foods and drinks aren't just high in sodium or alcohol, they can also act as bladder irritants, increasing the urge to urinate. The problem is, this urge doesn't always wake you fully. Instead, it pulls your brain toward lighter sleep stages, weakening the quality of your rest without you realizing it. And it's not just about food and drink. Your body's natural rhythms change throughout the day, and the bladder is more sensitive at night. Even mild dehydration during the day can lead to concentrated urine by bedtime, which can irritate the bladder lining and cause more signals to the brain. In other words, the timing and type of your hydration and even your overall diet play a bigger role in your sleep quality than most people ever imagine. The good news is that this is something you can influence starting tonight. By adjusting when you have your last drink, choosing beverages that are less likely to stimulate your bladder, and paying attention to the balance of your meals, you can dramatically reduce the number of interruptions your brain faces during REM sleep. This isn't about eliminating all fluids before bed or cutting out favorite foods entirely. It's about making small, strategic changes that add up to significant improvements in how you feel every morning. And remember, your sleep isn't just about rest. It's the foundation for how you think, feel, and function during the day. Protecting your REM cycles means protecting your mood, your energy, and even your long-term health. That's why what comes next is one of the most important steps you can take. Skip it, and not only will your progress be slower, but you could also unintentionally set the stage for side effects that make your nights and days less restorative than they should be. Once you begin to understand how your daily habits influence your bladder and your REM sleep, the next step is to look deeper into what you're actually eating and drinking, because it's not always the obvious culprits causing the disruption. While caffeine and alcohol often take the blame, certain foods that most people consider healthy can still interfere with your bladder's ability to stay calm at night. Take tomatoes, for example. They're a staple in many American diets, on burgers, in pasta sauces, or sliced fresh in salads. While nutritious in many ways, their natural acidity can irritate the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and more likely to send signals during the night. Citrus fruits, such as oranges, grapefruits, and even pineapple, have a similar effect. They're rich in vitamin C, but if consumed too close to bedtime, they can trigger bladder activity that cuts into your deep sleep. Then there's the hidden salt factor. Americans often consume far more sodium than they realize, not only in obvious fast food items, but also in canned soups, salad dressings, and even so-called healthy frozen meals. Excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid during the day, which it later tries to eliminate, often during the night. This is one reason you might find yourself waking up hours after you've fallen asleep, even if you didn't drink much before bed. Even dairy products can play a role for some people. While a glass of warm milk might sound like a comforting bedtime ritual, for certain individuals, dairy can act as a mild bladder irritant. This doesn't mean you have to cut it out completely, but being mindful of your intake in the hours before sleep can make a noticeable difference. The timing of your meals matters too. Eating a large dinner or late-night snack forces your digestive system to keep working when it should be slowing down. This increases overall body activity, which can influence bladder sensitivity. Picture it as your body trying to juggle too many tasks at once: digesting, balancing fluids, and maintaining sleep cycles. Something will eventually get pushed aside, and more often than not, it's your uninterrupted REM sleep. Small adjustments can make a big impact. Choosing lower acid fruits in the evening, reducing sodium intake throughout the day, and finishing your last substantial meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime can set your body up for a calmer, more restful night. It's not about perfection. It's about creating conditions that make it easier for your bladder to stay quiet when you need it to. When you start aligning your diet with your body's natural rhythms, you're not just improving your sleep, you're improving your overall energy, mood, and even your body's ability to heal and recover. And while these changes might feel small, their effect over weeks and months can be profound. The next insight builds on this foundation, and it's one of the most important yet. Ignoring it won't just slow your progress. It could actually create conditions that make your nights less restorative and your days more draining, something we want to prevent at all costs. By now, you've seen how your food and drink choices shape the way your bladder behaves at night. But there's another layer to this puzzle, one that has less to do with what you consume and more to do with the habits and routines that quietly shape your body's internal clock. Think about your evenings. In many American households, the hours before bed often involve catching up on TV shows, scrolling through a phone, or finishing a few last work tasks on the computer. While this may feel relaxing, these activities often extend far later into the night than we intend, pushing back the body's natural sleep window. And when bedtime gets delayed, The schedule for everything else, dinner, drinks, bathroom breaks, shifts with it. This creates a ripple effect, making it more likely that your bladder will still be active well into the hours when you should be deep in REM sleep. Late-night alcohol consumption is a prime example. Even a single glass of wine or a beer can act as both a diuretic and a sleep disruptor, causing more frequent awakenings and lighter sleep overall. Social gatherings, happy hours, or even a quiet drink at home can have a bigger impact than most people realize, especially if the drink is consumed within a couple of hours of bedtime. Another common factor is hydration timing. Many people go through the day drinking very little water, then try to catch up in the evening. While staying hydrated is essential, front-loading your water intake earlier in the day allows your body to process and balance fluids before it's time to rest. If most of your hydration happens after dinner, your bladder will naturally need to empty itself more frequently during the night. Certain medications, such as diuretics prescribed for high blood pressure, can also affect nighttime bladder activity. While these should never be adjusted without medical guidance, it's worth discussing timing with a healthcare professional to minimize overnight disruptions. Stress is another silent contributor. When your nervous system is in a state of alert, whether from work deadlines, financial worries, or personal concerns, it keeps your body on edge. This heightened state can make your bladder more sensitive to even minor changes in pressure or volume, increasing the chances of nighttime interruptions. The good news is that small, mindful changes can help recalibrate these patterns. Setting a consistent bedtime, reducing screen time in the hour before sleep, and spreading your hydration evenly throughout the day can create a more predictable and peaceful environment for your bladder and your brain. Pairing this with light relaxation practices, like stretching, reading, or gentle breathing, can signal to your body that it's time to wind down, reducing the likelihood of unwanted awakenings. These lifestyle adjustments don't just improve sleep, they ripple out into every aspect of your health. You'll have more stable energy, greater mental clarity, and a stronger sense of balance throughout your day. But there's still one crucial piece left to address, one that ties everything together and determines how well your nights truly support your long-term health. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It could allow problems to build silently over time, making them harder to reverse later. By now, you've seen how diet, hydration, and lifestyle habits can influence your bladder's nighttime activity and how they quietly shape the quality of your REM sleep. But here's where the picture gets even more serious. Not in a way that should alarm you, but in a way that should motivate you to act. Because when your REM sleep is regularly interrupted, the consequences reach far beyond feeling tired in the morning. REM sleep is like a maintenance shift for your brain. It's when your mind processes the day's experiences, strengthens neural connections, and repairs its own structure. This stage supports learning, emotional stability, and even hormone regulation. When you cut it short, the effects may not be obvious overnight, but over months and years, they can become harder to ignore. Studies have shown that fragmented REM sleep is linked to difficulties with memory recall, reduced problem-solving skills, and a higher likelihood of mood imbalances. You might notice yourself becoming more forgetful, more irritable, or simply feeling off in ways that are hard to describe. And here's the part most people never connect. These changes can start even if you're getting the recommended hours of total sleep. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality. Your immune system also feels the impact. REM sleep plays a role in regulating inflammatory responses and keeping your body's defenses strong. Without it, you may find yourself catching colds more often, recovering more slowly from illness, or struggling with low energy no matter how many vitamins you take. This is why addressing bladder-related interruptions isn't just about comfort, it's about protecting your long-term resilience. There's another subtle effect worth mentioning. When your body consistently misses out on deep restorative sleep, it starts to crave quick energy sources during the day. That often means more sugar, more caffeine, and more processed snacks, habits that, ironically, can irritate your bladder even further and continue the cycle of disruption. It's a loop that's easy to get stuck in, but also one you can break once you know where to start. The encouraging truth is that you have more control than you might think. Every choice you make, what you drink, when you eat, how you wind down at night, can shift your sleep patterns toward greater stability. And once you stack those choices together, the results can feel almost like a reset button for your body and mind. The next insight ties everything together. It's one of the most important steps you can take to protect your sleep and overall health. If you skip it, your progress will likely be slower, and you could unintentionally set the stage for patterns that undermine your well-being in ways that take years to repair. We've built the picture piece by piece. The way bladder signals, both obvious and subtle, can fragment your REM sleep, the dietary choices that make those signals more likely, and the daily habits that either calm your nights or disrupt them. Now it's time to share the key strategy that brings it all together and helps you reclaim the deep, restorative rest your body needs. The foundation of this method is timing. Timing your hydration, your meals, and your bladder-friendly habits in a way that supports your natural sleep cycles. Start by front-loading your water intake during the day. Aim to drink the majority of your fluids before the late afternoon. This gives your body plenty of time to process and balance those fluids before bedtime, reducing the chances of your bladder sending signals during the night. Pair this with a light, bladder-calming herbal infusion about an hour before bed. Chamomile, rooibos, or peppermint, without caffeine, can help relax your muscles, including those in the urinary tract, while also signaling to your mind that it's time to wind down. Keep the portion small, just enough to sip slowly, so you gain the relaxation benefits without overloading your bladder. Your last meal of the day should be finished at least 2 to 3 hours before you sleep. Focus on low-acid, low-sodium foods during dinner and avoid known bladder irritants like citrus, tomatoes, and spicy dishes in the evening. These changes alone can reduce unnecessary nighttime stimulation of your bladder lining. In the hour before bed, shift to activities that calm both mind and body. This could be reading, gentle stretching, or listening to soothing music. Reducing screen exposure not only supports melatonin production, but also keeps your nervous system from staying in a state of alert, something that can make your bladder more sensitive. Consistency is key. By keeping your evenings predictable, your body learns to expect rest at the same time each night, which helps regulate both your sleep cycles and bladder function. Over time, these habits reinforce each other, creating a steady rhythm that supports deeper REM sleep and more energizing mornings. And here's the bonus I promised at the very start: a simple, natural exercise to strengthen your bladder control over time. Pelvic floor activation. Gentle daily pelvic floor exercises, often called Kegels, can improve bladder stability and reduce the urgency that sometimes interrupts sleep. Just a few minutes a day can help you retrain the muscles that keep the bladder signals at bay during the night. When you put all these elements into practice, hydration timing, evening diet adjustments, calming routines, and bladder strengthening exercises, you give your body the tools it needs to restore balance. The payoff is not just better sleep, but a sharper mind, steadier mood, and stronger health overall. Knowledge is powerful, but action turns it into transformation. If you've learned something today that could help you or someone you care about, share it. Your effort might be the reason someone else wakes up tomorrow feeling truly rested for the first time in years. And if you stay committed to these changes, the benefits will build on themselves. Because when you protect your sleep, you protect everything that matters most in your health and your life.